Alright everyone, welcome back to the round of 16. We've got Tetragon spawning as the blue Protoss here in the southern position, currently seated number 1. And his opponent is going to be...
Ignite in the top right corner in the orange.
Yep, and he is currently the 5th seed, so we've got ourselves a nice little PvP action going on here.
Yeah, and of course PvP has recently changed with the recent warp gate change. 20 seconds added on.
Yep.
And of course with the chrono boost that changes it by about 12.5 seconds or so.
I've not actually seen any PvP since the change, so I don't know if... Like, I haven't been paying attention to the GSL or the NASL, I just really haven't had time anymore.
Yeah, I think it's actually a combination of people thinking the floor warp gate is a little bit weaker because of the change, and on top of that, I think people are experimenting to see if they can step away from that a little bit and make it a little more interesting.
Yeah, I would think that you might even be able to get out more probes in another like gateway, and possibly even do like a 5 warp gate rush.
Oh, that would be very interesting actually. A little bit stronger, different. Yeah.
We see Tetragon's doing some scouting, whereas Ignite's basically just keeping huddled in his base. I mean, he hasn't even really thrown down a gateway yet, and he's already creeping up on 13 supply.
Yeah, and Tetragon trying to double probe his close mineral patches. Of course, we see a lot of high-level players trying to do that lately.
Yeah, I mean, it does get you a boost on your economy. I mean, it's not like... I mean, it is noticeable, but for the pros, but for us, like, I'm in gold, it's not really noticeable for me because I'm like, oh crap, I have money, I should do something with it. What do I build? Oh, no, it's even higher. Still, what do I build?
And if you've got the APM, I mean, it doesn't affect you that much. So
yeah,
yeah. So looks like we got relatively similar builds here. Everything coming up almost the exact same time.
Yep. Ignite's gateway is just a little bit further behind because he chose to wait till 13 supply instead of 12 supply.
It's true, but he is one probe ahead actually.
Ah.
Well, half a probe ahead, but yes.
Half a probe ahead could mean the win.
That's true, but Tetragon's cybernetic score went up faster, so I guess we're throwing sticks at a building here.
Trading half a probe for half a cybernetics core.
I guess so. So yeah, exactly the same build so far. Ignite again, a little farther behind on his Zealot. Not too big of a deal at this point. Tetragon with all his chrono boosts staved up here.
He's towards 100 chrono boost, so we'll have to see how he decides to use that energy.
Yeah, I think we might see a really fast warp gate rush if he just uses it on that entire thing here.
Yep, there he goes, throwing it right down on that warp gate.
Ignite doing the same thing here on the right corner, and we're still at 19 probes versus 19 probes, and we'll see when they cut actually. See if Tetragon has learned something new about when to stop making probes on a warp gate rush.
He just cut probe production actually.
Ooh, we are at 20. Is that correct? Yeah, 20.
Yep.
So this is going to be really...
2 gates, and is he going to go for a third one?
Are we going to see...
Oh yeah, Tetragon's going for a 4 warp gate. There it comes.
There it goes. There it goes. Alright. See where he places that pylon? Got to put it in a safe spot, of course, because if your opponent kills the pylon, then they've essentially killed the rush and have plenty of extra time.
I mean, they changed the pylon radius, so it's actually a little bit trickier to get. What a lot of players would do is they put it so you could warp in on the high ground as soon as you got vision.
Yeah. Oh, and we actually have a change here. Ignite on 1 gateway still, and he is getting a robotics facility, so he needs to get that. He needs to get that sentry out really fast here.
Yeah, if that sentry doesn't make it out, he is dead in the water.
Yeah, that is completely true. And he has not cut probe production at all, so he's at 23. If he holds us off, he'll be way ahead, but I am not sure he's going to be able to do that.
He's actually not making... I mean, now that I look at it, he's... Oh, now he's starting probes again. Okay, so he's still going for probes.
Yeah, he might be missing something. No, he's still got low minerals.
See, that's the change right there. Tetragon went to go throw that pylon down, and now he can harass
Try to warp up.
But he did force that first force field down, so... and
no more energy.
It looks like he's building a stalker instead of another sentry, so this army can easily get up into the base now. Ooh, Tetragon choosing not to commit though, pulling back.
And not warping in. There we go. More units.
Ah, that's what he's waiting for. More units. Needs to get those zealots up in front though.
Oh, if only he had known those gateways were not up for Ignite, could have crushed him. It looks like we're gonna see him walk in here. Choosing to target down a random pylon.
Yeah, I think
supply blocks him.
I think Tetragon's gonna have this game because he's basically just supply blocked his opponent. He can't build anything, and all he has to do is clean up this army. He's not gonna get
That's
pylons
exactly
up
right.
fast enough.
Let's see if this Immortal does any damage. And Warping and Zealots on the high ground. This game is looking bad.
Yeah, just about lost his entire army. This hardened shell now pulling probes off just to help hold this army off.
Yeah, a solid opening by Ignite here. Just didn't choose to get 2 sentries out early, which is a really big deal. You need to hold off until you get a bunch of Immortals out. I think is the answer here.
Yeah, otherwise you're pretty much SOL. As you can see, he's pretty much lost all of his probes now.
Yeah, Ignite mining with 2 probes on minerals, few guys on gas, not really getting anything. And there's the GG.
GG. There we go. Tetragon takes game 1. Alright, shall we go to game 2?
Let's move.
Alright everyone, welcome back to game 2 here in the first Rakgoska Open. As we saw, Tetragon with an amazing 4-gate takes down Ignite in game 1. Let's see how game 2 differs.
Yeah, again, really good timing by Tetragon to get in there before Ignite's warp gates were up, and Ignite with a solid build, just slightly behind on the sentries. Just too bad.
Yeah, just didn't have enough to guard that ramp well enough. We do have Tetragon spawning as the blue Protoss again in the northern position on Shakuras.
Yeah, and this is actually going to be an interesting game because Ignite chose this map having lost the first game, and with it being such a large map, of course it doesn't matter as much with warp gates and proxy pylons, but perhaps he's trying to draw it out to a longer macro game this time.
It's definitely possible. I mean, Tetragon though, with being up a game, usually like to see players when they are up a game, they like to do some trickery just to help throw their opponent off.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Of course, Tetragon being a higher seed might be in favor of a macro game as well and be looking for cheese himself.
Oh yeah, basically. I mean, yeah, knows he has the advantage rank-wise over his opponent and league skill-wise. So I mean, he could possibly just play standard and know that his standard's better than Ignite's standard and win outright.
Definitely a possibility. Gateway's going up almost the exact same time again. Yeah, we're seeing a very similar game.
Just a hair ahead this time.
Yeah, that's true. And he was also actually a little bit ahead in probes, I think. But Tetragon scouting very early to look for any cheese. Make sure he can stay in this game.
Man, it looks like he's doing some harassment on that pylon.
Finally getting chased away. You know, actually, you can do a lot of damage to a pylon with 1 probe if your opponent doesn't stop you.
Oh yeah.
And scouting that early.
Second.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And scouting that early with that probe, he definitely loses some mining time. So if he can make Ignite pull a probe off to lose some mining time, also that's bringing him back in a little bit.
Or possibly 1 or 2 just to throw him really off.
Oh, and Ignite's gonna get this around, but Tetragon using the mineral trick.
That's such a dirty trick, the hover.